What up guys, Charlotte here, and today you join me on another WoW video. Today I'm going to be going over the talents and glyphs and also gear kind of choices I've been making on my warrior recently. Now I'm finally fully geared on my warrior. Basically, for most of your primary stats you're going to be going for mastery as your main stat. But some of the slots you need, like the set bonuses for example. So that's going to change what gear you actually get for each slot. I'm not currently best in slot everything. I need a better belt. I need the mastery versatility belt, but I'll be getting that next week because I haven't actually finished my cap from this week, as you can see here. But going down the list quickly, I'll just quickly go down the list. We have the helmet with the crit and haste. We have the neck with the critical strike and mastery, and it has the enchant of 75 mastery on it. Shoulders is haste and mastery. Cape is crit and mastery with the enchant 100 mastery plus 10 speed, and also the engineering glider. That's just because I'm an engineer. We got the critical strike mastery chest piece. We got my brute force tabard. We got the haste and mastery the wrists. We got the gloves of haste moist strike. I might switch these out for the actual mastery ones, but that would mean I'd have to switch out the legs, which I believe are best in slot. As I said before, I'm going to be going for the mastery versatility belt. I'll put a picture of the one on screen that I'm going to be trying to get best in slot. I believe it's the powerless belt. This also has my speed boost increased on it from engineering. My legs I got from a box. It's the versatility mastery legs. This is really strong. I got the boots with the crit and mastery. You can see a trend here with mastery. I got both my rings with mastery and 50 added mastery from enchantments. That's on both. So I got a powerless ring and a cruelty ring. I also have the proc trinket because I'm human, so I don't need the PvP movement trinket because I have my racial. Every man for himself. And I also have a flat out mastery and strength trinket, which I swapped out for my unused versatility trinket that gives me more strength by a little bit. But the mastery is actually worth it in my opinion. I've just been trying this one out to have more flat stats and have more intense damage and so on in that respect. But I got this one from a box, so it may not be the best in slot, but I will probably end up investing in a flat out one that is better. And then we've also got our sword, of course, that has illusion of berserking, and also is the crit and mastery sword with Mark of the Bleeding Hallow, which is the mastery enchant that gives you more mastery on proc. There is also a crit one that I used to use. I believe it's called Thunderlord, but that was more when I was actually gearing up and I needed the crit bonus for Fury, for example. But moving on, I won't join that now. That was going to be for a separate video that I'll re-queue for. Moving on to the talents that I've been running with. I've changed these up slightly as I've been progressing as a warrior and things like that. But just before I go into these are my own personal choices. So, understand that these are my own choices, and I'm just showing you what I'm doing. So moving into the level 15 row, I'm choosing Warbringer right now because the stun itself doesn't actually DR with your Stormbolt and your Shockwave when you're going onto a target, and it doesn't actually it isn't actually on the DR. When you DR something with stun, so that's really strong. Moving on to level 30 talents, the only real viable one right now is Rage Regeneration. This does stack with versatility. But I haven't there isn't much of a point stacking versatility on a warrior right now because your survivability doesn't really go up, but you sacrifice a lot of damage, meaning single target damages arms anyway. Level 45, kind of really the only one to really choose is Sudden Death, due to the fact you use Execute a lot, and you can get a lot of high health procs, and it's kind of broken a little bit. It's not as broken as it used to be, but it's still pretty broken. Moving on, level 60, they moved the stun around in Warlords. So basically, I switch out the level 90 and the level 60 talents depending on what kind of comp I'm fighting or what situation I'm going to be in. So if I'm doing RBGs, for example, I'll go Shockwave and Bladestorm, or in some cases I will go Stormbolt and Avatar. The main reason why you go Stormbolt is if you're against, say, a mage. I'll run a hybrid spec, which is this, where you go Bladestorm and Stormbolt. And that's just because the range stun is really good against mages, and also the Blaze Storm screws over their Novas if you use them to actually as a freedom because you can't be Novad. So it gives you a lot more uptime. Vigilance is just really, really strong. There's a lot of kind of talk between Safeguard and Vigilance about which is better. Even in some cases, I would say Mass Spell Reflect can be better. I'm out of the way of using it now because I've seen how good Vigilance actually can be. It gives like a flat out 30% damage decrease to a healer or DPS if you macro it correctly. I'll do a separate video on my macros that'll be probably out sometime in the week. But moving on to level 90 talent tree, basically the only real things I can see the two options are is really depending on what comps you're fighting and also what you have in your level 60 row as well. If you're Stormbolt, then I would recommend going Avatar, just because then you can connect on the target and do a lot of damage. There's also a Root Breaker as well, which is nice. There's also a Blaze Storm, which you basically just spin around. You'll need a cancel or a pummel macro and outfocus and fear and so on, so on, so on to be able to do that. But yeah, you are actually able to change between stances without using a macro in Blaze Storm nowadays as well, which is nice. Moving on to level 100, there's not really many choices. I sometimes have fun with the Siegebreaker talent when I'm on like BGs or something, or it's Fury for very, very single target bursty damage, and it is sometimes viable on some maps against some comps in 3s, but I wouldn't really recommend it. The only real one that's really any viable really is Anger Management, because it gives you faster recklessnesses, faster leaps, faster die by the swords, faster stuns, and faster, offensive cooldowns as well. So that's pretty strong, really. That's kind of a talent overview. We're going to be moving on to glyphs that I personally use again. The kind of glyphs that I just leave in is Glyph of Bull Rush. Gives me more rage whenever I charge, and as I'm charging off cooldown to get the stun is pretty good. I'm not really too sure whether this I should be running Blitz because I'm now running the stun. I haven't actually tried it. It's something I might try out, but that's another option if you would don't have rage issues. Rude Interruption, I would say, is one of the staple glyphs you need to be running as a warrior, because if you're pummeling a lot, then you'll do like 6% extra damage, and you should really have it up really off cooldown. Really, it lasts 20 seconds, and your pummel's cooldown is a grand total of, if I can find it, 15 seconds. So really, you should have this up by nearly all the time, because you should be kicking off cooldown, etc. Shattering Throw is really the only one that you would switch out a lot regarding, like, if you have a comp like a mage or a paladin, something you can actually shatter the bubble or block or bop off, then it's worth it. Otherwise, I would say go for Wind and Thunder, which just gives you more whirlwind range. That's more for RBGs, but also can be used in arenas, and also the Rallying Cry, because the leech can really, really help you and your healers or healer actually live through, like, openers and stuff, and actually losing positioning and stuff in arena is something a lot more important. Right? You can actually counter someone's burst just by kiting it, for example, instead of actually tanking it and having to use an ability, which means you're further ahead when it comes to actually using your defensive cooldowns and offensive cooldowns to be able to kill them and so on. But I will go over all that in a separate video if you guys would like. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe give it a like and that favorite button, it helps out a lot. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, then make sure to be subscribed. There's a link just below. And if you'd like to check out 2 more videos from me, there'll be 2 links on the end cards. So I hope you guys enjoy once again, and I'll see you guys next time. Farewell. If you guys missed yesterday's video, then make sure to hit the right link. If you'd like to see the last episode on Mineshaft SMP, then make sure to hit the left link, and I'll see you guys next time. Farewell.